Well, we are at Home Depot, or I am at Home Depot, and I thought I'd give you just a quick lesson on how to choose wood for your projects. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, and you can see there's so much to choose from. How do you choose the right wood for your project? So recently my friend Brittany did a project that she found on Pinterest and chose to do a coffee table and came to Home Depot to buy wood. And like I said, there's so many different types of wood to choose from. How do you choose one that you like for your project? So the first kind I'm going to talk about here is common board. This is the cheapest and most inexpensive. And the reason that is that it's not always perfectly cut. There are imperfections. It's your very, very most basic type of board, and it's made from pine. And as you can see, there are the knots in there all over, and it's going to require a little bit of sanding sometimes. But if you like that look, more of a rustic with the knots and stuff like that, then that's a great inexpensive choice. But just make sure that when you pick out a board, that you line it up and you make sure that they match up, because sometimes, like you can see, this one is bowing. It's not perfectly flat, and sometimes if you even put them together, this one seems to be okay, but sometimes they'll be off a little bit. So you want to make sure you pick boards that are straight and don't have any straight both to the left and to the horizontally and vertically. So okay, so that's common board. Your next kind are your hardwoods, and you've got a variety to pick from. There's poplar, and then there's oak, and there is pine and maple. Now it all depends, and mahogany too. Depends on the look that you want to. Stains are going to look different. The same stain will look different on each of these boards just because of the softness of the wood and how porous it is and the underlying tannins that are in the wood. So for instance, mahogany and oak over here, you can see have a red undertone, and so if you use like a dark stain on it, it's going to really, really make it very, very dark, because it's going to already add on to the underlying dark tone that it has in the wood. And the grain is also different. Oak, for instance, you can see here, has more lines in it than, for instance, this poplar board. And poplar actually has a little bit of a green undertone. So there's that. And of course price. Your mahoganies and your oaks and your maples are going to be more expensive. Your pine is going to be the cheapest. Now if you want to just do a cheap or inexpensive project, and you want to pick pine, for instance, I personally would prefer to choose something that is a select board. It means that it's sanded better, it's cut better. The little, you can tell there are no knots in this board. Those are sanded out or cut out, and they're very, very, very smooth. I'm not going to get a sliver by doing this, and it's just a really, really nice board. They are a little bit more expensive, but there's less prep work, and it's a better quality product for a nice piece of furniture. Let's see what else. So that's select pine. And then you've got, let's go over here real quick. You've got blue pine, which is a really interesting wood because it's got, you can see this really kind of a grayish blue tone in some of the I don't know what you call it, in the grain. And it takes stain on a little bit differently, so if you like a really distressed farmhouse rustic look, this is a really great board to pick, because each piece is going to be really, really unique. So, and then down here you've got MDF, which I would not recommend using. because it's just basically compressed particle board and you're not gonna be able to stain it very well, and it's very heavy, and for furniture I don't recommend it. So so many projects, things you can do with this. So anyway, that is that. I hope that helps, and we'll move on next to staining and prepping.